watching Africa Today TV's travel show. Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Ken Vasquez. Now, listen, any airline that calls their business class service Cloud9 has got to be a friend of mine. And so I invited Ethiopian Airlines' Regional Director of Sales and Marketing in the United States, Nigusu, to join us here in the studio today and discuss Ethiopian Airlines to Addis Ababa, its home base, and beyond. Welcome. I'm so glad you're with us. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you for having me.
Indeed. Let's talk about Ethiopian Airlines.
Sure. Later.
You are an old airline.
Actually, Ethiopian was established in 1945, right after World War II. Mm-hmm. So we are 70 years young airline.
Well, congratulations on that. Yeah. And you fly internationally.
That's true. We currently fly into 91 international destinations in 5 continents.
91 on 5?
Yes.
Wow, that's great expansion.
Yeah.
What was your first international destination?
It was in April 1946 into Cairo, Egypt. That was our very first scheduled operation.
What a great journey to start in Cairo. Lovely city, isn't it?
That's true.
Addis Ababa, also a great city.
Yeah, that's true.
So now you fly here to the United States of America and here, Washington, D.C. This is your primary destination in the U.S., but I believe that you'll be adding another service into the United States. Tell us a little more about that, would you?
Yes, since I told you we were established in 1945, we started operation in 1946. And Ethiopian really has come a long way since its humble beginnings in the 40s. And in 1998, we started flight into Washington, D.C. So we are now like 20 years serving D.C. And we launched Los Angeles last year in June. And then we'll be adding our third gateway in the States, was going to be JFK, New York.
So business really is booming.
Sure, yeah. Ethiopian has been succeeding in revenue and profit. In fact, in 2014, the International Air Transport Association recognized Ethiopian as the largest in revenue and profit in Africa. So we are now $2.4 billion revenue airline, and we make around 200 million USD profit here.
My goodness, well, that's something to be smiling about, isn't it? It certainly is. Tell me about your Los Angeles flight. Is that a Los Angeles, Washington to Addis, or is it a separate flight altogether?
Los Angeles, we are flying via Dublin, Ireland. We have a traffic right between Dublin and Los Angeles. So we are operating Los Angeles flight, Los Angeles, Dublin, Addis, and then Addis, Dublin, Los Angeles. That's how we operate the flight.
And you have full traffic rights on both legs?
That's true.
Well, there's a note to our Irish viewers. Look at that. You can fly from Los Angeles on the west coast into Dublin, full traffic rights, spend your time in Ireland, board Ethiopian, and come back to Los Angeles. Great idea. That's very, very smart thinking, and great that you've got those traffic rights.
We can fly direct, say from DC to Addis.
Right.
It's going to take about 12 hours, 13 hours, depending on the weather, the wind direction.
Right.
But flying out of Addis into the States is not possible due to a high altitude of Addis. So we have a technical stop again in Dublin, coming to DC or coming to Los Angeles. But going, of course, as I told you, we can fly direct from.
And you have traffic rights on that route as well?
Not really. We have just a technical stop. Yeah, we joined Star Alliance in 2011, December. It has helped us a lot in enhancing our image. And of course, since we are a member of the Star Alliance, we are partnering with United, and we are getting good connection here in the States from different states. And so we can fly passengers into Addis, and then we can connect them, as you said. We have a very good strategic hub in Addis Ababa, which you can fly to 51 cities, as I told you, in hours' time. Right. So you can have the shortest time to East Africa, Central Africa, South Africa, and then of course to some West African points.
Right.
So you can really have the shortest flight time to fly to many African cities.
Yeah, you have a fantastic route network. Who have you pool partnered with here in the United States for, assuming I'm in Chicago and I want to board one of your flights to get to Africa, who can I fly into Washington or in your upcoming JFK flight? Who would I use?
We partner with United Airlines.
Right.
So we are working with United Airlines. So if you are if you want to fly from Chicago, then you take United flight into DC, and then you can fly into African points.
All right. And those are all highly subsidized add-on fares, I'm sure.
Sure, we have very good fares, SPS, we call them SPS, special pro-rate agreements between airlines.
Mm-hmm.
So we will add that, and then a passenger will give only one true fare, so that you can buy just one fare and then you can fly from Chicago.
And that's a very important thing. All right, so this makes perfect sense to me. Having discussed what we just have about add-on airline fares, the most appropriate thing from my point of view is that if you're going to be traveling on Ethiopian Airlines from Washington, D.C. to Addis Ababa, but you're starting your journey in Chicago. Now, your mindset will say, let's go to one of the cheap ticket sale places and buy the sector Chicago to Washington, for that will be cheaper than buying a through fare with Ethiopian Airlines. It's not. Trust me, it's not. It may be less expensive dollar-wise, but not a whole lot of dollars that can otherwise compensate for anything that can go wrong. And here's the reason. United Airlines will carry you from Chicago to Washington, D.C. Now, assuming there's bad weather in Chicago, assuming there's a flight delay or whatever the case may be, and you arrive here into Washington, D.C., by the time Ethiopian has closed their gates for no further boarding, and perhaps have even left, depending on your arrival time, United is a contract. They've brought you to Washington, D.C. That is the contract that the airline has. Ethiopian will have you as a no-show because they've got to leave on time. They cannot just wait and wait and wait. And because they don't know that you are coming in from another destination to join their flight, there wouldn't be any way of communicating the connection. So my recommendation is, instead of always buying a separate ticket to get to the gateway, rather go for the through fare, because those fares are inexpensive, they're highly subsidized, and the one airline transfers your luggage to the other airline. It just makes it so much easier for you whichever way you look. So think in terms of that. If you're flying from Las Vegas, if you're flying from Chicago, if you're flying from Toronto, anywhere that you're coming into a destination served by Ethiopian, book the ticket as a one ticket all the way through. It saves you a lot of hassles in the long run. Now that we've discovered, well, we've talked about that, let's go about, I've arrived in Addis, I've gone down to Johannesburg on you. How do I get to Cape Town? Do you have a pool partnership within Africa with other carriers?
Yeah, sure. We partners with star members like Egypt and South African Airlines.
Okay.
But we really pretty much fly into many destinations. For example, we fly into 3 cities in South Africa. We fly into Cape Town, we fly into Durban, we fly into Johannesburg. But if we don't fly into a city, then of course we'll partner
You'll
with...
use your Star Alliance partner.
Yes,
I understand that. Give me a reason why I should pick Ethiopian. I know it. I mean, when you call yourselves Cloud9, that just makes me feel very comfortable. But tell me from an executive point of view, why Ethiopian?
Yes, of course, customers have these days thousands of options, and they really make rational decisions. That's our understanding. So what matters most is travel time, convenience, arrival time, departure time. All these things matter. So let's use a Chicago example.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to fly from Chicago, say, to Addis, then you will have thousands of options, of course, through Europe, through many options, I can understand. But we have a very good price, good value for the money you pay. We have the shortest travel time, a very good connection in DC. You will arrive in the morning in Addis, which is good.
It is
to
good,
arrive
yes.
in the daylight. So when you factor in all these things, and then coupled with in-flight service, on-ground service, we give wider legrooms, very good in-flight entertainment IFE, a very good meal in the flight, very good African flavored Ethiopian hospitality. So all these things really make Ethiopian an airline of choice.
I agree with that question. Do you serve Ethiopian cuisine on the flight?
That's true.
You do?
We do.
We should take a flight together so
That's
we can
true.
have that
That's
meal.
true. Okay.
All right, so I have so many options that I can use to get to Africa, to any destination in Africa. I can come in from the north, I can come in from the south. But I understand that you are the first African carrier to operate the Dreamliner to the United States. What can I expect from that service on board with you?
Yes, in fact, Ethiopian was the second in the world. Ethiopian was the third airline in the world, next to Japan, to own and operate 787. 787 is ultra-modern, environment-friendly, very convenient aircraft for passengers. It has, among many of its features, it has wider windows, so you feel wherever you sit, you don't have to request a window seat, wider seat, very good cabin cabin temperature, very good. You will not have headache after flying 12 hours, 13 hours with a 787. You will have convenient seats. In fact, we are a two-class carrier. Our business class seats are lie flat. It's 180. You can sleep 12 hours, and you will be ready to jump on your business day in Africa, in Addis. So these all, I'm sure, can be factored in while you make an airline choice.
At Ethiopian Airlines, we offer more. From the moment you step on board the 787 Dreamliner, our Cloud9 service will pamper your senses. Versatile LED lighting adds an amazing ambiance to our cabin environment. For long-haul flights, the lighting can simulate a full flying day, gradually changing through a spectrum of lighting scenarios that will help you better adjust to your destination. A lie-flat bed will encourage a restful flight. Large windows make every seat on our 787 a window seat, and spacious bins offer ample stowage. Our award-winning cabin crew is proud to offer you a variety of menu options. Designed with lower cabin altitude that increases humidity, our 787 enables you to arrive feeling much more refreshed than on any other aircraft. Economy class passengers will experience comfortable seats that offer more legroom. Seatback screens for every passenger add to the overall experience. As part of our vision to link Africa to the world, Ethiopian Airlines flies to more than 75 destinations worldwide. We continue to open new and exciting routes, including Sao Paulo, Shanghai, and Toronto. As a proud member of Star Alliance, we offer seamless service no matter where you are flying to in the world. Come experience more. Ethiopian Airlines, the new spirit of Africa, a Star Alliance member.
Here's one thing from one African to another.
Okay, thank you.
I am extremely proud of Ethiopian for one particular reason. Your all-female crew. When I read about that, it rocked my world, to be quite honest with you.
Thank you.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that every single person that manned that service, and it was from Addis to Bangkok,
That's true.
from ground handling to baggage handling to in-flight service to cockpit crew, and even on the other side on arrival in Bangkok, was all female.
That's true.
That is history making.
Thank you.
That is record breaking. I don't know of any other airline that has ever done that. Why did you? What was the goal behind that? And how often will you repeat that in the future?
Thank you for the nice, kind words. Yes, of course. Ethiopian has a program called Women Empowerment for a Sustainable Growth. We are in a fast growth. We have a fast growth strategy, and we have been empowering women to sustain this growth for many years. Ethiopian Airlines has its own aviation academy. We give free scholarships for young girls and boys, right from high school. So they don't pay, we just give them free scholarship. They can finish their pilot training, technician training, School of Marketing, Finance, whatsoever field, and then we'll give them employment opportunity. That's what we have been doing for the last 50 years, 60 years, 70 years in our history. So the Ethiopian Airlines management decided that we have to show this to the world. And of course, we have to also inspire many African girls that they can consider aviation as their career, and then they can be pilots, they can be technicians, they can be anything they like. So that was the whole purpose of the flight launched from Addis to Bangkok.
Will you continue that service?
Of course, we have now many. Probably, yeah, we can do it, but it takes a little bit of scheduling. Otherwise,
Right.
we have pilots, co-pilots, technicians, marketing staff, ground, every staff, women staff. But of course, we can do it after some time.
I think that's fantastic, because empowerment of women, and especially African women, we all know that the hardest working woman in the world is the African woman.
That's true.
She has to look after her husband. She has to look after her family. 9 out of 10 times she's running her village. She's doing the crops and so on. So African women have always been known to be very hard-working people.
That's true.
Now, to take these ladies and put them up in the sky and give them that equal opportunity in the aviation industry, I think is something unbelievable. I'm very proud of you, from one African to another.
Yeah.
Well done. Please keep that up. It's amazing. And I would hope that you bring them here to the United States one day.
Thank you.
Because
Sure.
that will be very, very, very newsworthy, without question.
Thank you. Why not? Sure.
So I think that we've really we've talked about a lot. We know why we should fly Ethiopian, and I've always been a staunch supporter of your carrier. I think it's a brilliant airline.
you.
I've heard lots of remarks about your airline, every one of them positive. People like the in-flight experience on Ethiopian Airlines, and it gets you to destinations that you can go beyond. You know, obviously the traveler going to Ethiopia will get off at Addis and stay there and do what they want to do. But the fact that you do go other destinations in Africa, you centrally positioned so people can go north, south, east, or west, makes you even a better deal to travel as a carrier to Africa. And from our point of view here at Africa Today TV Travel, you certainly are one of our preferred carriers. And we really look forward to keeping it that way.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us today here at Africa Today TV. I hope that you found the information on Ethiopian Airlines every bit as interesting as I did. It's a fantastic carrier. Do try and use them if you're going to Africa. Worth the ride, especially as we keep on talking about Cloud9. I love that Cloud9, and I love it that you took time to join me today. Thank you so very much indeed.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate your time. I appreciate everything you told us and shared about your airline.
Thank you for having me.
And we wish you many, many happy flying miles up in the sky.
Thank you.
And keep coming back to the United States, and bring your lady team.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
That would be terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching us. Any more information you require, you can visit us online at attvtravel.com.